Hey everybody, welcome back to Retro Tech Toys. I finally got this in, and I think I said a while back when this was announced, I did a little quick video about this, and I said I was going to have it on release day, and I got it. It was pretty difficult to get, actually. So in case you didn't know, this is the Nintendo Game & Watch. It's the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. Edition, and I've heard a lot about it, and I'm really excited to get into this and see what's in here. And I've got a couple of cool, interesting things I'm going to tell you about it as well. How I got this was no one had it in stock. Everybody was supposed to have it in stock at the stroke of midnight on the 13th, and nobody did. So at about 2 a.m., I think, I went over to Best Buy, and they had it available. But when you clicked to add it in the shopping cart, it was like, no, it didn't get in there. You have to wait. And every few minutes, we'll add more inventory. The add to cart button will light up and you can try. So I sat there with 2 keyboards and 2 trackpads doing refresh on one and trying to click on the other. And I finally got this in the shopping cart and I was able to buy it for store pickup, and I got it this morning. And I've been working to get this video out since. My first impressions, it's a very small package, and I'm okay with that because it's just a tiny little handheld in here. What this is based on are the original little handheld consoles that Nintendo put out back in the 80s called Game & Watch. They had a couple of little games on them, and they were also a clock. And that's why it's called Game & Watch, because it had a game and a watch on it. This one's a little different. They actually put Super Mario Bros. Onto this, and I think they have Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels as we know it over here, which is actually overseas Super Mario 2. So we'll find out, but that's what I've heard. I don't know to be sure. First impressions, I like this plastic that it comes in. It reminds me of when I used to work at Blockbuster, and we had these protective sheaths over the movie cases. It's kind of like that, so I like this a lot. But enough talk. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing, and we'll see what's inside. All right, we broke the seal. That just slides out, and look at that. It's got all the artwork printed onto the plastic shell. I love that. That's a really nice touch. And underneath the shell, you can see is kind of the original Game & Watch look. You know, the old school style game that's on there. And around back, it looks like I was correct. We have Super Mario Brothers. We have Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels, or as I said, overseas, that's Super Mario Brothers 2. And we have a game called Ball, which is probably more reminiscent of the older Game & Watch game. Then we have a little clock. And there are some extras that I've been told are hidden, like little Easter eggs that are in the clock and other various parts of this. Okay, so it looks like we get a USB-C cable for charging, and that bodes well for hacking too, I think. And I have actually a little news about that too. We have the user guide, which I'm not going to go through because this seems like a pretty straightforward, tiny little handheld console. And I'm trying really hard not to mess up the packaging because this is a collector's thing for sure. All right, are you ready? The Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary Game & Watch. Here is the front. Here's the back. And around the side, it looks like we have a power button and a charging port. And I'm hoping we'll be able to hook into there to hack games onto it. And around the front here, we have a game button, a time button, a pause and set button. We've got the D-pad and a B and A button. And that's it. And the B and A button, they're kind of rubber buttons, but they feel pretty okay. And the D-pad's a little small, but it feels good too. Let's go ahead and get ready to play this thing. And there it is. Press the time button. And there it is. I haven't set the time yet, of course, because we just took it out. But look at that. That's so cool. It looks great. You know what would be really cool, and I don't think this is an actual feature, is if you could play around with the character on the watch setting. Alright, let's go into the game and see what we have. So, I'm going to walk you through all of these. This is Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, or as I said, the Lost Levels as we know it. And there is the ball game. So I'm going to get the camera turned around this way so we can play this together. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and lower the brightness just a little bit, because I want us to be able to see that screen really well. And here it is. I think it looks awesome. Alright, so let's see how it plays. And with this, I think we're supposed to catch the balls and then it sends them back into the air. So game A has 2 balls and game B has 3. And it looks like if you hit the pause button, we can adjust the brightness of the screen and we can adjust the volume. So let's turn the volume all the way up. For such a tiny little console, it has really good volume control. I mean, I think it sounds loud enough. And I would love to see other Game & Watch consoles come out. I'd actually really like to see people hack other games onto this. And there is some promise there, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Alright, let's try Super Mario Brothers. Oh yeah, it's really loud. That is really, really good sound quality for such a tiny little unit. And it's quite playable. Even given its size, it's a little cramped, but it's really playable. Let's check out Lost Levels. I heard a lot of people on Reddit and a few other places complaining because they thought there was a glitch in the game. Because in Super Mario 2, this version of it, there are poisonous mushrooms that kill you, and some of them thought that there were glitches. Like here, see, look. That's not a glitch. They made this game extremely difficult, and that's why we didn't get it over here. Gaming Historian does a really good episode about that. I recommend you check it out if you have not. Okay. Let's see if we can figure out how to set the time. Oh, here, if you keep pressing the time button, it's got different scenes. I like that. And we can hit the pause button again, and we can go to set time. Right now, it's about 11:26 my time. And there you are. And it changes scenery if it's dark or if it's daylight outside. Look at that. That is wonderful. I love this. All right. So are we ready to tear this down? Because I want to see what's inside of it, and I'd like to talk about what's been done with it already, even though it's just come out. We need a Y bit to tear this down. And there's 4 screws. So let's get our Y bit out, and we'll open this up. that's it. 4 screws, and it should come right apart, but we have to be careful. I'm not going to take the whole board out and show the other side. I don't think that's necessary. So we have the rechargeable battery, and we've got our speaker, and there's the port, and we have a couple of chips, and it's my understanding that how this works is that it has a very small amount of RAM, and it has a very, very small amount of flash storage. And the ROM for the game is dumped into the RAM, and that's how the game is run. So there's hope that we can flash other games onto the console. And there's actually a hacker who has done it, and I'll talk about that briefly. It looks like this battery is replaceable if you could find the right one, because it just clips in. It's not soldered in or anything. That's wonderful, because these batteries are going to go bad. So that this could be replaced is awesome. All right, I'm going to get this back together, and I'll discuss some other things and give my final thoughts. All right, we're back, and I'm really impressed with this. It's very tiny, but it does fit in the palm of my hand beautifully. It feels pretty okay to hold, and I have really big hands. The buttons are fine. Everything's good on this. I would love to see more of these come out. I'd like to see a Legend of Zelda one come out. I wouldn't mind seeing like maybe a Metroid one, even though I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But it would be really cool to see a bunch of these. Even ones that didn't feature the characters from the original Game & Watch systems. I mean, it would just be really cool to see a bunch of these put out anyway. I don't know if they'll ever do that. With Nintendo being Nintendo, they've made these kind of scarce, and that tells me they're either trying to create a false urgency to buy it, which is what a lot of companies do, and I'm not saying they're doing that. I'm just saying that it seems to be the case quite often. Or they're afraid these won't sell as well as they think, because they just want this to be a limited thing, and they're testing the waters to see if it'll sell. Of course, that's what we said about the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, and those pretty much were limited runs. And or if you try to get one of those nowadays, you're going to be paying $130. At least in my area locally, those things sell for $100 to $150 now, which to me is not worth it. But this is really nice. It's $49.95, so it's definitely going to be for collectors. I love that it has USB-C, and I like that it kept the look and the feel of the original Game & Watch somewhat, while also, modernizing. So that's nice. I like it overall. If you're a collector of Nintendo, definitely go grab one if you can. I'll put a link to where you can get these below, and just keep trying. That's all I have for today, and I hope you enjoy the video and the content. Check us out on Twitter. I'm building an official website for Retro Tech Toys as we speak, and I'll have a lot of different reviews that don't make it onto YouTube, and builds, and all sorts of cool things on there. So check that out. It's going to be retrotechtoys.com, but it's not finished yet. And that's all I have for today. Check us out on Twitter and Patreon, and when the official site comes, I'll let you know. And thank you so much for watching Retro Tech Toys. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.